What's up everybody, Sam Smyers here. Today I want to show you how to make the lead to Glow by Fred Again, Skrillex, Fortet, Joy Anonymous, and Duskus. Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this new song just came out on Fred Again's latest album, and it has some interesting collaborators on it, like Duskus and Joy Anonymous. In addition to Fred Again's usual collaborators, Fortet and Skrillex. This lead sound actually reminded me a lot of the lead that is in Fireflies by Owl City. So I use that as like a starting point. But this lead had some characteristics of the bass sound in Danielle by Fred Again, where it has this like pitch effect where you've got this gliding effect going on. So let me just play the lead so you can hear what it sounds like. And I have some automation where I have some distortion on it. I'm automating the distortion and then also automating the filter cutoff. And the melody changes throughout the track. Like there's different notes in the melody. I just tried to come up with a few different sections of the melody by going through the track, and the notes happen really fast. So let me just show you the notes here. And the way that I figured out the notes is I just slowed down the track and then played the track along with the MIDI. And that helped me figure out the notes a lot easier than listening to the track at the normal BPM. So for example, I just go up here and I just slow it down to like 20, and then I'll listen to the track. And then I can easily like figure out the notes that way. So let's put it at 129. So that is part of the MIDI, and sometimes it'll play some different notes, but that is the gist of the MIDI. So let me just start showing you how to do this from scratch. I'll just loop a section of this MIDI that I created and go into Serum. And this is Serum without with an initialized preset. I'm going to turn it on to mono and turn on the always for portamento. Raise this up to about 21 milliseconds. And that's how you get that gliding effect. And when you have the notes gliding, changing really fast, that glide effect becomes more apparent. So then I wanted to soften up this saw sound. So I chose the basic mini saw. And envelope 1, I didn't really think I need to change this. Maybe I can add a bit of increase this attack a bit, or just like make it slower. Go ahead and shape this envelope 1. Let's do 440 for this decay. Give this a bit of a curve. Let's zoom in, make sure I've got that curve looking good. Slow down that attack a tiny bit. Now let's turn on the filter and do an MGLO 24 filter. Turn on for A, and then also turn on key tracking. Then I'll assign this envelope to this cutoff, and let's set this filter cutoff around 220 or so. And then the modulation, I'll set that to about 25. Set this resonance to maybe 12, 15%, raise up this drive a bit. And then you can play around with automating this cutoff. Maybe assign a macro knob to the cutoff just to make it a bit simpler to see where to automate a macro knob. Sometimes I find just setting the filter cutoff to a macro knob makes it a bit easier for me to just modulate a macro knob. Just visually, it's a bit easier. So you can do that. Let me go into the effects now. Now I just add on a bit of this mid-range boost with the EQ just to try to match it to the track. And then I'll add on some delay. So you could do like a ping pong delay. I decided to do a left and right offset. So the left side is 1/8 and the right side is 1/4. Feedback is at 40%, mix is at 30%. Then I'll add on the hall reverb. You can adjust your settings like this. Size is about 26%. 5 seconds decay and mix at 25%. And then what I did is I add on the distortion after the reverb, because the distortion gets added to the delay and the reverb, so it gives more of like this stereo effect. So here I'll automate this mix on. Pretty cool effect, and I have on this post filter filtering off some of that top end of that distortion. Versus if I put this distortion before the delay and reverb. That's a pretty nice sound as well, but just to match how it was in the track, it sounded like the distortion was distorting the sides of the reverb as well. So that's why I put it after the reverb. It creates that cool sound. So that's one of those things where you typically wouldn't think to put a distortion after the reverb, but I think it adds to this unique sound. And then you can just automate this mix. And in this example I played you earlier, I just automated the mix just to give you the feeling of how it sounds. But it changes throughout the track. So you can just try, if you want to match the track, then you can play around with this mix knob and play around with the filter. I think those are two of the main things that are being automated. They might be adding in more effects here and there, but this is essentially the sound. There it is clean, and then automating the mix. Of the distortion sounds like that. So if you do want to grab this preset, I'll put a link down below where you can grab it in my Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also please subscribe to my channel if you are not yet subscribed. And if you'd like to check out any of my Serum preset packs, head on over to store.samsmyers.com.